Guys, I did it. I transitioned from a teacher to a Scrum Master. That first week, it was all... Let's talk about it. Alright, so the first week, day one, I go in there, they give me my laptop, take me on a tour of the building. It is beautiful. Corporate America is so different. And I was looking out the window like, wow, guys, I made it. I can't believe it. It was like surreal. It was amazing. It was overwhelming. It was just, an experience. Okay, we were on the 10th floor looking over the city of Atlanta. There are trees everywhere. There are high-rise buildings, white walls. I don't know, like you never realize how beige the walls are in a public school building until you get to corporate America. Things were shiny and new and beautiful, and even though our buildings were beautiful, there were murals everywhere of representation and these beautiful children. It was like nothing like a shiny new corporate America building. So the first day it was like overwhelming and exciting. Day two, I got to meet my product owners. I have two, and my two Scrum teams. One team, normal size team, it's 10 people including me, so there are 8 developers, 1 product owner, and me. Cool, that's fine. And their vibe was like really cool. The other team was like 14 people, okay, including me was 15, so there were 13 developers, 1 product owner, and me. Bigger than the typical Scrum team size, but first real day with the people, so let me figure out what's going on. I think I shadowed 3 meetings that day. All of them were daily stand-ups, and I felt dumb. I felt like, what were these words that they were saying? Like, I've never heard of half of the things that they were talking about. The Jira board was up. They didn't use a Scrum board, they used a Kanban board. So, it's a little bit different. The number of columns and all the things were just, for that large team, they had, I think, like 9 columns. It was overwhelming. So it was a lot that day. I left work that day feeling quite inadequate. Imposter, or like Patty says on LinkedIn, Scrum Imposter Syndrome definitely kicked in. But I was like, what, I'm here. Let me make the best of it. But basically on day 2, all we did was shadow those 3 meetings. We got a document, 51-page document that we were supposed to read. And before the first day, my manager sent me I think it was like an hour and 10 minutes, 70-minute video about like the systems overview for the whole company. So a lot of the words that I was hearing during the stand-ups were not like completely new, but I didn't know what they meant when I watched the first video, and I definitely didn't know what they meant during the stand-ups. My manager sent us an email list of acronyms that was like 4 pages long. That was definitely helpful, but not with me at all times. It just took too long to pull up the whole document every time I heard a new word. And then at a certain point of writing notes, you kind of get overwhelmed and you sit back and you're like, okay. So yeah, day 2, I didn't know what to take of it. Day 3, here's where the fun began. I clearly didn't know anything, and I didn't really have much additional guidance from my manager on what to do. Daily stand-ups take 15 to 30 minutes, and that was it. So on day 3, I was like, you know what? Let me take prerogative. Well, first of all, the company used Slack for all communication. I've never used Slack before, but it's really straightforward. It's pretty cool. So on Slack, I messaged the product owners to get on the, the Scrum team's group list or whatever, their little group chat on Slack. And then, I said hey to everyone, told them I was glad to meet them, and I made a Calendly link. And on Calendly, I had 15-minute increments for all of the people, basically. Like, I will meet with you 15 minutes each, just get to know everybody. I had no real questions or concerns. It was like, let's get to know each other. And yeah, I kind of went ham on that. By Thursday, I had everyone from one of the Scrum teams scheduled. I met everyone pretty much by Friday. One person worked part-time, so I met her the following Tuesday. But that team I felt really good and secure with. The other team was a lot, the progression was a lot slower because the PO did not add me to their Slack channel. I think for like 2 days, like not until like that Friday when me and her had our one-on-one. After we had our one-on-one, she of course added me, and I was able to start communicating with the team that way and DMing everybody. But before that, I was kind of like in a waiting space. Initially I contacted the POs through email, but if you see the email, like the inbox of anyone in tech that's like actually doing the things, it's overwhelming. One of the developers, when I met with them, they showed me their inbox, just like share their screen, and I was like, yeah, if I email you, you will probably never see it. Never. It was crazy. So I was like, Slack is definitely the way to communicate. So yeah, day 3, I was just like sending out calendar invites really for that one team, scheduling the time to meet with the POs for our one-on-one and just get to know everyone. So on that Wednesday when I'm creating this whole beautiful schedule, I had to figure out what am I going to talk about for 15 minutes. The teacher in me made an Excel spreadsheet and PowerPoint slides to kind of organize everyone's responses and data. And so all of the questions went from personal to professional. My framing was that I wanted to get to know everyone as not just like an employee, but like as people, right? I want to get to know you as a person. So the questions started off with like, do you have family, kids, animals, whatever? Hobbies, what's your favorite snack? Do you like music or movies? Things of that nature. And then eventually they transitioned into, how did you get into this role? Did you do a boot camp? Did you go to college for it? Did you just find an opportunity and got into it? Like, I was really curious about how everyone got to where they are. And then after that, it was a lot of like, how long have you been on an agile team? That was really interesting to hear that almost every single person that I spoke to, they have never been in an agile workspace until they came to the company. So that's really interesting. There's information for me. So like, the company was setting the standard for what agile and Scrum is supposed to be, and then just basically like, what do they specialize in? What do they want to be more cross-functional with? So if it's like certain programs or whatever the case is. And yeah, that was pretty much what I had laid out for all of my questions. And I did this all on my own prerogative. Like, my manager didn't have to tell me. There was actually nothing much to do on like a 10-hour workday. I was just determined to jump in and hit the ground running. So here's day 4. Okay, day 4, we go to the stand-ups. We're still shadowing, mind you. It was me and another Scrum Master. I keep saying me and another Scrum Master that was hired at the same time. We go to the stand-ups with another Scrum Master, the one that's there. And well, let's take it back a little bit. Initially the company was hiring for a Scrum Master because one of them left. So they were hiring for the 2 teams that I actually got, right? So there were 2 Scrum Masters that were part of the hiring process. The Friday before I started, the other Scrum Master left. That was her last day. The company did not know, like, during the interview process that she was leaving. I guess they found out after anyways. So me and the other, like, final place candidate that got to the last round of interviews, we both got hired. So we both started on that same Monday, which was day 1. And they hired an agile coach that was contracted. So by day 4, the agile coach is checking in with us a lot just to see how we're doing. Made a little group chat on Slack. We were observing a bunch of stand-ups, and then they were like, hey, yeah, by next week you guys are running your own ceremonies. Yeah, it's on you now. And so the other Scrum Master, he was a Scrum Master for like 5 years. He had experience. Me, I've been a Scrum Master for 4 days. I was a teacher last week. And now I have to run my own ceremony. So yeah, that was interesting for me. I think my stress level was slightly elevated. I had concerns. But this is kind of what I signed up for, so I was like, okay, I've really got to hit the ground running. I need to take better notes on all these meetings because I'm not gonna lie, backlog refinement was so boring and overwhelming the first 2 times I seen it. Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know any of these codes that they're saying, how to find the different cards that they're finding, were they estimating? It was really confusing at that point. So I was just automatically stressed, taking way more notes than I was at the beginning. But yeah, that was day 4. Finding out that the next week they're all ours. What else did we do? There was nothing much else. That day I met with a bunch of my developers from my one team that I was still in contact with. And then that was pretty much it. On day 5, Friday's one of our work from home days, so we were home. I joined my 2 stand-ups that are for my Scrum team. I didn't observe on any of the other stand-ups. It was just for my 2, and it was pretty much like I met with 3 people that day. I think 3 developers. I met with my other PO that I was waiting to meet with, and then I was like, okay, now I'm in the Slack channel. I'm gonna start scheduling those meetings for the next week because this was a lot. So yeah, that was the whole week. At some point during the week, it must have been Thursday when I was getting overwhelmed, I messaged my boss, my manager, because she's been really busy. The company's going through like a lot of program upgrades that are like company wide, so a lot of the Scrum teams are working together to push the upgrades out, and we never really had a chance to like sit down and meet. There was like no checklist, no plan that I saw. I know that the agile coach started asking us like, how are our teams? Have you started meeting with developers? Luckily I have, because you know, on my own like intuition, or you know, the strength of whatever I know of being a Scrum Master told me that that was the right thing to do. So luckily I have, but I was never like told like, by day 1 you should have watched these videos, by day 2 you're observing, by this point you should have started reaching out to your developers. No one like explicitly told me that. I kind of figured it out after being left alone for so much. So yeah, I told my manager, I was like, we gotta have a conversation. I would just love to check in with you. I have these questions I'm asking my developers. I don't mind asking you as well, as getting on one accord. And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, you know, it's been crazy. I'm gonna start scheduling a weekly check-in for the whole team, and then me and you could just talk real quick. So the both of us spoke on Thursday, and I was just like, just want to let you know that I'm excited to be here, part of the company. I don't have like any actual guidance or like a checklist. So that's just something that I really feel more comfortable with. I have been taking my own prerogative. So I told her about my meeting with developers. I showed her my list of the scheduled meetings. She was like, oh my gosh, wow, you are doing a lot. That's great. Let's start having weekly check-ins, and the agile coach will probably be able to help more with like the onboarding process, I suppose. So how was that, child? I don't know. All right, so we talked about the week, day by day, what happened. Here's the next question. How different was it from teaching? How did I feel through the whole thing, other than stressed by day 4? Let's talk about teaching, right? During the work day as a teacher, you like, as soon as the doors open, you're smiling, greeting the kids, getting to know everybody, at least checking in with everybody. And then you are actively pouring into the kids and the co-workers, right? All of the teachers on your team, you have to pour your time and space and give them the space to kind of talk, you know? All of the kids, you are just continually like checking in with them, you know, academically and emotionally, and making sure that they're good. And oh, you want to tell me that you need permission to go to the restroom? Just always keeping track of 100,000 things throughout the school day. Like, you are the counselor, the nurse, you just wear all the hats, all right? You are a magician sometimes, you're an entertainer, you were just all the things all the time. In corporate, as a Scrum Master in a tech space, I got to just be me. And I'm really bad at, like, I don't know, sometimes code switching. I'm bad at just not being my authentic self. So I spent the week, when I was not being stressed, I spent the week like cracking jokes, using the restroom whenever, taking a lunch break. Like, I sat by this window, I'll post a picture. I sat by this window and just like on these reclining chairs, put my feet up, looked out over Buckhead, and just breathed. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I drank water all day long intentionally, stayed hydrated. I did. As a teacher, you're taught to like train your bladder or hold until break, or if you got to go, you have to send a message as soon as you think you might need to go, and then maybe within the next 30 minutes somebody will come and relieve you. And then when you come back, guess what? Your class is a mess. The kids lost their mind, they stopped working, they're talking, they're standing, they're throwing things. Like, all of that happens just to use the restroom. And like this week, I really just got to be an adult. This last year of teaching, it was like my cup was empty by like 1 p.m., 1:30 maybe, okay? We worked 10-hour days at my school, so I didn't get home. The school day didn't end until just about 5, so I didn't get home until like maybe 5:30, sometime around then. And I got 4 sons, 3 of them at home with me, and I had nothing left for them. My youngest is a 2-year-old. I had nothing, no patience, nothing left. So I don't know, it was like such a breath of fresh air. Like, my cup was actually full when I left work. I was in such a good mood. Like, I took the kids to the park one day, we went to the library, we've been going to the grocery store to get snacks, just to treat the kids and to treat myself, because like I had the mental capacity for that. It was amazing. It really was. Like, I just felt so light. Everyone that's seen me is like, wow, Amanda, you look so happy, you look good. And I was like, thanks. You know, like, there's nothing else you can say. Just, it's nothing but God, seriously. I didn't think I was going to be able to transition this quickly from teaching to Scrum. Like, literally, I had a job by the last week of school, and I was a Scrum Master. So yeah, it's been really beautiful, like getting to know the adults. First of all, let's talk about it. Techies are different from educators, okay? I've always thought I was like this cool, like nonchalant, you know, relatable teacher. Like I got along with the older kids because I thought I was, you know, I was cool. In the tech space, they see me as bubbly. And I'm just like, ew, bubbly? But like bubbly, because they are, a lot of techies are like more like, I don't even know how to describe it. But I would walk around like, hey, good morning, hey guys. And then like in the stand-ups, man, that's the next video. When I started hosting my own stand-ups, I brought all the energy, all the joy. Yeah, let's talk about it in the next video. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm hoping that I can just keep you guys updated, show you a day in the life. Next video will be about week 2. The video after that would just be a little vlog of me walking around the building. My schedule is hybrid, so I work at home 2 days a week and in the office 3 days a week. So it's really cool. My at-home days are Monday and Friday, which are the best days to work from home, because you really don't want to get up and go on a Monday or Friday anyways. So more on that coming up soon. Bye.